Inspiration Nation. Hello, Lee Kemp here for another week on the podcast. No Jose Noya, but we do have a Ryan Boniface. How are you, Ryan?
Yeah, very well, thank you. How are you?
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I am. For those on YouTube, again, Jose Noya, Inspiration Nation. Stick him in your Google machine and follow him on YouTube. You'll be told when we're going live each and every week. You will see I have taken my Inspiration Nation background off. Might be off for a few weeks. The fabled posters from a few episodes ago were there. Are there? Not were there. They're still there now. I guess if you're watching this in 3 weeks' time, they were there, but they're on the wall behind me. That's the point of what I'm saying. So I'll make use of them for a while. Right. So it is me for a subject this week, Ryan. What I want to talk about this week is I don't know. I don't know if there's a quote to it. Let's see if AI's give me a quote to go with this. If not, we'll find one. But what I want to talk about coming up tomorrow, I think it is. GCSE results in the country. And
Okay.
I know what a big thing this is. I've seen 4 kids go through getting these and seeing what the results are and worrying about what's in them. And I guess for anyone who hears or listens to this, I want to give the message of, this support, give all to school, give all you can in college, give all you can in uni, give all you can to your job, whatever path you go down. But GCSEs and what they give you and where they aren't final. And I wanted to do this bit retrospectively. I was for you and for me about how much you remember about your GCSE results and how much of they mattered to what you do. I expect your memory of that is clearer than mine because there's a good 10-ish
Were they
years in
were
between.
they GCSEs when
I'm
you
not.
did
Yeah,
them?
they were GCSEs. I'm not that old.
They were. Okay, right. Okay. That was a genuine question. That wasn't me calling you old.
No, for Joe, I don't think they were, but for me, they were.
So my view on this is that when I took them and probably when you took them, they probably mattered a hell of a lot more than probably what they do today. And I think that's primarily or potentially down to the fact that you must now remain in education or some form of education until 18. So in my day, he says at 31, not that long ago, but in mine and Lee's day,
Oh, look at that! We're in the same bracket. What an honour!
I suppose you could, even if you flunked all your GCSEs, it didn't actually matter because you could still go out and get a job and move into the
And I guess
real
it's
world.
that's
He
the
says,
that's the end. Obviously, you could go and do levels, go on to university,
yeah,
but that's quite a milestone of I'm done with mandatory education. And you're right, now you've got another 2 years, so they're still there, they're still important, but yeah, it's not
it's
the
a bit.
end of the journey, is it?
If you're in the UK or if you're in definitely England and Wales, it's a bit. The GCSE results now feel like the results of the 11 plus. Did you do an 11 plus? Is that a thing nationwide?
No, that is a thing that only now is done in Kent, and was only done in Kent when I was
Right.
the
Okay.
same age as
So
well.
so that there is basically what I'm trying to say is that GCSE results are probably as important to your adolescent future as perhaps what your mock GCSE results were. That they're able to be a standard for you to set yourself, but it isn't going to be the be all and end all of everything. I think because people have to stay in education for those extra 2 years, something will always be open to you to extend from where you are. Um, what do I remember of mine? Uh, I remember of mine that I didn't do as well as I should have done. And I, I'd like to say that I'd like to believe that I'm a pretty intelligent person and I'm quite book smart. I'm very good with numbers. And I know a lot of stuff. I know a lot of things about a lot of different subjects. I was always deemed to be really intelligent at school, and that was always really good. I was always like top set of whatever. But I was your typical lazy, smart person. I thought I could ride on my coattails and be absolutely fine. Didn't I could literally wing it. And I know that we talk about you living a life of a wing it mantra through life, but I genuinely, both my A levels and my GCSEs, I winged the hell out of it. So much so that I actually took I did a business course at A level that didn't have an exam. It was all coursework related, so that I wouldn't have to do an exam because I knew that I would never revise for the exam. I still did maths and media and other um, other exam-based things, but I always felt that I struggled in exams. In the same way, I actually feel like I always struggle in interviews, in that I'm generally smart, but if you put me on the spot about talking about a subject, I really struggle to articulate it or answer it in a clear way. So I just give up. I don't revise because what's the point? I do okay. I got C, B's, and A's, but I should have been B's, A's, and A stars kind of stuff, if that makes sense.
It does. I was what you would call a straight C student, as that's all I got. And the same, I again back to the winging it thing. Obviously, the caveat to winging it is you're very good at being able to deploy skills that you've learned almost on the spot, like a stand up comic. That they're brilliant
Yes.
improvising, but they're improvising because of all the practice in the background. But then there isn't a script when they get on stage. That's where it all comes to life. So, that's where we said the same on the winging it. And it's great sometimes just to go in and be instinctive, but you're doing it in comfort zones or with those skills to do it. I did the same. I did no. I'm going to say no. I probably did the bare minimum, maybe no revision through my GCSE. So I could have done significantly better if I tried. The same is I kind of got by on being good enough with it, but without really having to try. I wasn't particularly academic, so I got all my C's. I went to college. I did A levels. I did okay in them as well, um, but it wasn't. It's not like I didn't take them seriously because I did all the exams and I did everything, but the same as you, I kind of just rode my way through it. Um, and I guess that's to say that we've both forged very strong careers. And I'm looping you with me. I didn't know this was a conversation before, but that's from not the strongest starting point, which is, I guess, the message on it's not the be and end all. And what I don't want to push this the other way and be telling people the results don't matter because that's absolutely not the message. This is where you could learn a lot of key disciplines, get engaged with things. It sets you off the right foot for what you want to do. Numerous things you do where you have to learn those disciplines and you have to get qualifications. They're absolutely important. I think a good way to frame it though is you should take it seriously, but don't mistake that door in front of you right now from those exams is the only door that exists. Actually, depending how that goes, there's a lot of other ways to go. As we talk, it's up and down and up and down and up and down is the journey. And those exams could be an up that continues an up. They could be an up that has a down afterwards, or they could be a down that comes before the up. They don't set you on the path that dictates the next 60, 70, 80 years of your life. They can absolutely be really strong for you, but there's a lot of ways to bounce back as well if you didn't do too well, or if you're not that sort of person. Like exams aren't for you. You're not the most academic person because the same way we both do. Me, I do an office job, put a lot of time into it, do a lot of things that would fall in the academic bracket now, I guess, but that wasn't my thing at school. But then when I found things I can latch it to that were practical, meaningful, and I could drive results out of it, it kind of came alive. So sometimes it's the right time and the right place for people as well. But yeah, mine. When did I do mine? 1998, Ryan. How's that for you? What were you?
That would have been the May of 1998 as well, wouldn't it? So
Yeah,
that I'd have been two.
you'd have been 2 years old, and I was there doing my exams, probably with knowledge that is proven to be wrong now because it was so long ago and they've updated it since. We did our flat Earth studies and stuff like that at the time. um,
I think it's also important to reference that every path is the right path
yes,
because it's going to be your path. Like you're not going to get everything that you're going to get. Sometimes you will, but a lot of the time you won't. If you think getting a degree is the be all and end all for a future career, it isn't. I recently found out this week you can actually be a partner at a law firm without a law degree. Didn't
yes,
know
you
that.
can.
Thought that was a real thing. Um, it, it, you don't. You sometimes there will obviously be professions where you have to have a degree. If
I'd
you want to go
like,
into medicine,
yeah, I was
you
going to
want to
say, I'd
go
like my
into
doctor to have one, just to be clear.
yes, there are obviously there are professions that require degrees, and they are specialized in those areas. And yes, in some scenarios, in fact, in a lot of scenarios, having a degree will put you in a better position than somebody that doesn't have a degree. But I'm also not paying back £45,000 of university fees for the next 25 years of my life, um, off the top of my salary every month. I have freedom to be able to live my life. I had a different view in that I was doing my A levels, realized I had no money to do fun stuff like what 16 and 17-year-old kids do, which is primarily try and get drunk. Um, so I got a job. I thought, what's the point? I'm only going to university to make money, but I can make money now. So I got a job, and yeah, snowballed from there. I realized I really liked getting money and getting paid money. So I worked more hours and I did more things and I learned more stuff on the job. And then there we are, stuck with it. I, but I still say now that I wish I had followed through and I got a degree. I wanted to do law. I decided at 17 that I thought it was thought there were that it was too popular of a course and it would be too difficult to find a solid standing role. I think that was probably a small world cynical view perhaps 15 years ago. Um, but I still say now I'd consider doing like an open university course or trying to do a course to go and get a law degree. But the reason I haven't done it in the 13 years since I turned 18 is that I haven't needed it. And I think that's also a really important thing. There are a lot of people that go to university and get a degree and then go into a job that never needed that degree in the first place. That's still the right decision and that's still the right path because those people pursued what they thought was right at the time that they pursued it, and that's absolutely okay.
Like you said, the path you're on is the right path as long as you're put into it, because you don't know where stuff is or isn't going to lead. Ironically, I also pursued the law route. Um, I just thought that's where I wanted to go. I got accepted at uni for doing a law degree, but I would say I completely fell out of love, but I don't think I had enough time to fall in love to fall out of love. But I was out of love with law by the time it rolled round, and I just knew that wasn't, or certainly what the way you'd go through, how intensive the courses for doing degree and stuff was not for me, and went down a different path. But I went in with one way being the absolute track, and then, as we talked about, pivoted. Didn't really know where I was going to go at the time. No way is it any thought would happen. But I think just resilience and a strong work ethic and that sort of thing are the things that really sit behind all of that, no matter what it is. Leads into
Yeah.
one of the questions I was going to ask is, what would you tell 16-year-old you, not just randomly 16-year-old you, but you 5 minutes before you open exam results, knowing what you're going to get and knowing what your reaction would be? What would be your advice to yourself in that moment?
Okay. I can't answer that question without giving you the context of
Okay.
my exam results. So my exam results weren't really a big deal. Did anything happen for yours? Did your parents come with you?
No, mine was the least. I think
Yeah,
I ended up
similar.
after work going about 3 o'clock in the afternoon to the school to pick them up. No one else I knew was
Mm.
even there, and I got them and went home. It was
Walked home.
a non-event, I would say.
Exactly the same. It's an entire non-event. So for me, what would I tell myself? I spent the entire time walking home feeling like, why did nobody else care about my exam results? But then it's a very hard life lesson to remember that realistically, it's only you that's ever going to look out for you. Um, you know, so people could call that cynical, but at the end of the day, if you don't look out for you, nobody else is ever going to look out for you. So spent the whole time walking home being disappointed that nobody cared. But then by the time I got home, I realised I didn't bloody care. So why on earth did anybody else? Why was anybody else going to care? Um, how did I feel when I opened them? When I opened them, I felt a mixture of disappointment and almost vindication because I knew that was what's going to happen. And I proved myself right. Even though I could have done everything in every possible way to have made that outcome different, I knew from the start of May, whatever year it was, 2011, 2012, whatever year it was, that I wasn't, and I hadn't prepared myself properly for those results. So I knew 3 months before I opened that envelope that I was essentially going to fuck it, and I did. So I felt a mixture of disappointment that I had got it wrong, but almost vindication that I knew I was going to get it wrong, and I did. Um, so yeah, it was a non-event that led to a non-event, and I'm pretty sure I went to work that evening and didn't really talk about it, and that was the end of that. It was enough to scrape me into sixth form, although I think I had to interview because I almost didn't get into sixth form to do A levels. Um, got in, and then yeah, I did better with my A levels than I did my GCSEs though, because I actually felt like that mattered more. Don't get me wrong, I know I said at the start that GCSEs, when I took them, felt like they really mattered more than they do now. But
Yeah.
A levels were the big deal. That was the big one.
So,
How about you?
what would you tell yourself 5 minutes before you open that envelope?
I want to tell
Because that's your
myself.
context.
I would tell myself that I don't think, regardless of the letters that I know are now numbers that are going to be on that piece of paper, I don't think anything would be different. So I think I would tell myself, not that my future is predetermined, because I think that's a really weird view of the world, but
It's all going to be okay.
essentially it's all going to be okay. If I'd have got all A's and A stars, I don't think that would have pushed me to do any better in my A levels than what I got actually pushed me to do in my A levels, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was the same difference for me.
For me, with the same one, what would I go about? That again, and it's good the framing this question the 5 minutes beforehand, because you don't yet know the results, but there's nothing you can do to change them. It's happened. It's in the can,
Mm.
and I struggle with this sort of question, I guess, because I couldn't be happy with where I am right now. So I wouldn't want to change anything because all the good, all the bad, all the indifferent is what's led to here right now. So you don't want to kind of go back and Marty McFly yourself out of existence or something like that, do you? Obviously, you're already dead, alive, but you know what I mean. You don't want to come back and
Mm.
there's a massive casino where the town hall used to be and all that stuff that happens afterwards with it.
Is that a subplot of Back to the Future? Because I've not seen it.
It's bad.
I am aware of the principle. I've not seen
Stop the podcast now.
it. I don't think I've ever watched them.
This is horrendous. I don't even
I'm
know what
aware
to
of all
say.
the. I'm aware of
We,
all the memes. I'm aware of the
we're not
story, and
even
he
close.
goes back.
We're not even close. We'll talk about this when we
Okay,
are done. I'm very
okay,
disappointed in you, young man.
that's fair.
Um, but also, I guess it's the and it's also the, like you said, the message. If I went back and said, this is good, but don't worry, everything's going to work out great. The times when I thought it wasn't, and you put all your all into it, again, a part of that story for where you are. So it's a difficult balance, but I think it would be that. I think I a bit like you. I think I went in knowing that's what I was going to do, and I made it less pressure on myself, and then I got them good, so it's all good. But I think I would have said that it's just they don't define you. At some point, they become irrelevant, but they're important now. But just keep pushing, not even pushing because I don't know what it was at the time. Just keep heading in that right direction. Because I don't think I would worried that my life was going to tank because of them, because I got into the college course I wanted, and then from my A levels I got into the university course that I wanted to do. They were just completely on the wrong path, but I think I had to go down that wrong path to get on the right path.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
But
weird one because you could butterfly yourself, couldn't you? Could butterfly affect yourself, couldn't you? If you tell you this all, if you told yourself it was all going to be okay, then you wouldn't put any effort into anything ever, and then it actually probably would end up not being okay.
yeah, and I think that's the message with this as well. I guess is that it's not don't the results don't define you, but whatever you choose to do afterwards, put your full effort into it. And then however
Mhm.
that goes, it's the same. It doesn't define you, but change, pivot, keep going, whatever it is, but just keep putting your full effort into everything. That's the only thing that matters really.
The results don't define you, but what you do next does.
Yeah, 100%. There we go. That's the quote. That is the quote of the day. Right, better do some wrapping us up on this. Felt good doing a little time travel for myself there, back to the wee old days of 1998.
Yeah, before you show, I googled. I, so I did pick law for A level,
Yeah.
but the school binned it after the first week because there was only four of us that did it. Now, I just googled when did Suits first air in the UK. Now, if Suits was a thing when I was at school,
Oh, that would have
it
been a
came out.
packed classroom. Yeah, is that where we're going?
Well, what I'm going to say is what I'd have told myself 5 minutes before opening my results is, oh, watch fucking Suits because that would have committed me to the career for
I
life.
love it. That's a great. In fact, that's even better. The episode title is going to be "Watch Suits." I love that.
Yeah.
So we will do the shilling. Again, Jose is not here this week. He's on his holidays. He'll be back with us next week. Of course, if you want to see him, if you're missing him like we are, Jose Noya Inspiration, stick it in your Google machine, TikTok and YouTube are the places to be. Follow, like, subscribe, whatever the buttons are, and you get told when we're going live. Inspirationation.org.uk is where we are for everything to do the podcast. Whatever platform you're listening to us on. If you're on the website, if you're on Spotify, if you're on Apple Podcasts, if you're on anything else, make sure you subscribe, and more importantly, use that share link, send this to friends and family, get people to listen. That's really what helps us grow, and we appreciate everyone out there that is listening, supporting what we're doing. I think on that note, I'll do us a countdown. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. Inspiration Nation.
Inspiration Nation.
Catch you guys later.
Catch you guys later.
I have to wait